Hey, I'm Pops. Batman animated series, The Mechanic. That's right. We are rolling right along through this massive first season of just amazing content. I'm sort of like, it's one of these episodes that I totally remembered, but totally underrated how good it is. And I really want, hopefully, I can try to at least capture for you guys a little bit of some of that appreciation and what happened in my head as I watched this episode. So, of course, our great intro, right? Just never ceases to disappoint. It's just a beautiful episode before we end up with like a chase sequence. I love the fact that when Robin, this is not the first time Robin is drawn where he's in the pasture, he's just like bored out of his mind. He just looks like he has nothing to do. He's not remotely, I don't know. I would thought they would have some controls or something to do. Nothing to do. He's chasing some penguins, men. There's a little diversion here, and it's got to go around, and then they're headed toward the drawbridge, and the car jumps the bridge, leaving the Batmobile as the bridge is coming down. And of course, the car lands safely, but the Batmobile is not so lucky. It's completely destroyed in the front end, and they take it to their mechanic. His name is Earl, and this is his daughter. So right off the bat, it's one thing I'm going to think about was the fact that this is sort of like the Batman universe that we're in. And I guess it's one of those things. I totally remember this, but I didn't totally put it in the forefront of my mind's eye. So, used the new bat cycles. Batman and Robin held out on the bat cycles, and they're going to work on that while we cut to the Penguin and this very elaborate detail. Like, I have to be honest, I would not have remembered so much of this. There's so much great lighting and shadow work. Look at the way they add almost like these are supposed to be like rust bands on the pipes right there. He's throwing a tantrum, and they have this guy they picked up. And this guy's just the uber nerd, and the uber nerd has a line on like parts, and the parts that have been ordered correlate to a pattern which point to the Batmobile. So he's basically selling that information to the Penguin, who of course writes him a check and then sends him on his way right down Rubber Ducky and down the whirlpool, which is good. And I like the fact that we did use the rubber duck. That's good. So then he's going to go on a hunt to go find a mechanic, which they do. And they threaten Earl to help them out because they've got the daughter. So they're going to take the daughter and kidnap her and basically blackmail and threaten Earl to do the bidding. Earl's tough, man. I really like Earl. Earl's tough. He's like this is part of his role, but of course it's his kid, you know. And look at how well you know, the penguin is one of those designs that's probably like among my least favorite, but I can say when he's actually menacing and we get all that, it's done really well. All right, so then we get sort of we have sort of like the Batman Earl backstory with how Batman slash Bruce Wayne helped him, and of course they've got the daughter, and then they get there where they've now jerry rigged the car, sabotaged it. Batman's going to get in, and Earl tries to give him a clue, right? Tries to give him a clue, and there's a chase sequence. So they've deliberately done this because they're going to take control of the Batmobile and run him like he's going to run into walls and stuff like that. Because there's Penguin's got the controller, right? So you can see right away that the stuff that was presented in Batman Returns with the Penguin and the car and some of those kind of elements are sort of like integrated into this episode. So it definitely is definitely one of those that has a lot of those parallels. But this came after that. The movie's in '92. This came out after that. So works out pretty well because you can see that Batman and them they're kind of trapped. They don't know what to do. And then of course Batman starts thinking about the clues, and Earl had given him a clue to know to push this, AC button basically, and it was their way of becoming free just in time. And they escape. But then Earl, he fights back, and he catches the guy there as Batman closes in on Penguin, and you end up with the finale where everybody's saved, and they've got their new plan on dealing with the new Batmobile. And then, of course, there's a gag with Penguin doing license plates. I just want to say this. What I really liked about Earl, we get to Earl. This is kind of like the perfect feel, the perfect addition to the lore that ties you to kind of what it was like reading the comic books, because we get enough of Earl and his backstory. We don't waste a bunch of time. We just tell our story. We get in and get out. And we like Earl. We're cheering for Earl. We want his daughter to be safe. We want him to be safe. And you feel like you better understand Batman's universe, how he operates, how he has people that are assisting him along the way, be a mechanic. Like, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities that multiple people know who Batman is, maybe in different ways. We see a little bit of that with the Lucius Fox relationship and Alfred in the Christopher Nolan movies. You don't get a lot of that elsewhere, at least not yet. But here you do see kind of like the network with Leslie Tompkins knows, and obviously Earl knows. So really good stuff. Really enjoy this episode. It is not one that I would have put at the forefront of my thought process or kind of like put on that list. And I'm not sure it does, because there's so many that are great. But when I thought about this episode, I was just I was really happy and pleased and sort of like uplifted by the fact that it was such a good episode. Anyway, I just love rewatching the show with you guys and talking about my experience, my memories, my love of it. This is, to me, by far. I'm still kind of going through other shows and some different things like that. So hopefully you're enjoying Saturday morning cartoons with me, hanging out, talking about some old cartoons. Love to hear from you. Take care, everybody. Have a good day today. I am Pops.